Sheetrock, what is it? Well, welcome back all my fellow home shoppers. This is Hunter here in Madera and Cibolo Canyons with Chesmar Homes, and this is our part five of How to Build a Home series. And today what we're going to talk about is sheetrock. Now, a lot of y'all might know what sheetrock is, but let's not take that for granted that everybody knows what that is. So what we're going to do is going to go over a few of the terms and what it is and what it does and why we have it in our homes. So here we are back in this beautiful Axton floor plan, the prototype I keep bringing y'all in. Check out this kitchen, y'all. This is ridiculous. And this huge side patio out there, the fireplace. We just reselected the brick. I'll bring y'all in on that in a little bit. But sheetrock. So let's walk over here and take a look at sheetrock. What is it? Well, this is sheetrock, as most of y'all might know. Sheetrock is it's a synthetic fiber board that has it's crushed up stuff. If you crush it up, it kind of turns into like this powder here, okay? Almost like the consistency of flour or some other stuff that y'all should not be partaking in. But we put this up, and what the purpose of this doesn't really do anything structurally to strengthen the home. I mean, it does a little bit between the studs, but it's really to finish out a wall. This is what will get textured, and we'll go over that later, and paint it, and this is where you're going to hang your pictures on and all that kind of stuff. And again, when you sheetrock it's okay to hang a straight picture on, but if you're going to do a TV or something, you always want to get into these studs. So you see all these white lines on here. What is that? So in sheetrock, you might hear of the term tape and float. So sheetrock, it looks like it's just one big solid surface, but if you see all these lines broke up, that sheetrock comes in sheets, just like it says. And those sheets are kind of like a 4x8, maybe a little bigger sometimes, and they hang it up just like you would plywood or something else. And to seal those seams, to make them flush and smooth, they do what's called tape and floating. And they take this tape, it looks almost kind of like a sports mesh kind of tape that you would wrap around your arm or something like that, and they take mud, but it's not mud that you would find out in the yard. This is like a plaster mud, and they smear that mud over that joint, kind of fill in the crack, and then they put that tape, again, it's kind of like a mesh fabric over top of that to kind of give it some something to grab a hold of there, and then they float back over top of that again, giving it this smooth like surface. And then what you have here is everywhere they've nailed it up, you can see if you look closely, that's where the nails were, and they kind of, when they're nailing them in, it goes into the sheetrock a little bit, makes a little dimple. So then they take that same mud and they float over that and then smooth it out. That way, when this is painted, it'll be a nice smooth surface. But what we'll do before we paint it is we're going to texture it, and that's when they come back in with some more mud type stuff that's in a hopper, and they spray it on there. That's what makes that wall kind of bumpy, and when it dries a little bit, they come and they knock it down to give it a little smoother finish, and that gives it a little bit of texture and a little bit of detail to the wall. So that is what sheetrock is, and that is how we hang it up and finish it out. But what other thing does sheetrock does? Well, sheetrock is also fire retardant. You know, actually, in a lot of your gun safes or security safes at home, you might actually have sheetrock in the walls of the safe, also referred to as fireboard. So up here on the ceilings, we actually run a thicker sheetrock. It's a 5/8, and they refer to it as a fireboard. And what the point of that is if, heaven forbid, something ever happened to your home and it caught on fire, and flames typically go up, they lick upwards, that when it hits this sheetrock, that will be a barrier. I mean, eventually, yes, a hot enough fire, it's going to penetrate and get through and burn the whole house. But ideally, what the purpose is to buy you time. That if it gets to the wall here, that sheetrock is going to hold that fire back for a little bit. If it gets to the ceiling where most of the heat and the flames are going up to, that sheetrock in the ceiling is actually thicker than the pieces that are on the wall. And again, that's to help kind of prevent, in a extreme case, if your home was to catch fire, is to try to help to prevent that fire from reaching the attic. Because when a fire gets into an attic, that's when it can really start getting exposed to raw wood and really begin to grow and strengthen And what we want to do is we want to try to keep it as contained as possible to where it's only able to burn things that are mainly like furniture and stuff like that, the finish outs of the inside of the home. Because once it hits this sheetrock, it should stop it and hold it back for a while. So those are some kind of interesting and neat things about sheetrock. I hope you learned something about it. Again, we'll come back in here, we'll texture it and then paint it, and we'll go over all of that when we get to it. But guys, if you have any other questions about sheetrock, what it does and its purpose, and maybe the sheetrock that we put in the wet areas, which happens to be a little different than this, that makes it a little more moisture resistant in showers and things like that. That way if it gets wet, it doesn't crumble or mildew as bad as a sheetrock that doesn't go in a wet area. So anything like that, if you have any comments or questions, leave it below. I'll be happy to answer those for you. Look up Madeira at 79 or text 797979, the word Madeira, and you can bring up more information about this. Guys, I just want to take you out here. This back patio, look at this view, guys. You can have this. You can live in this neighborhood. There are limited opportunities left. We are selling at a very fast pace out here. So there's a couple golf course lots left, and there are a couple home sites left on the Greenbelt. So if you're interested in those, please let me know. Other than that, have a great day. God bless and stay safe out there, guys. We'll see you later.